There's 100% chance that making this video is going to piss a few people off. And if it does, good. Because we are in a situation in the coaching and consulting industry where we live in what I can only describe as a trust recession. And I know I'm not the first person to speak about this, but the reason I wanted to make this video is because I think as a collective, as an industry, we need to do better. So I want to do two things in this video. I want to explain why the game has changed in 2025, what we can do about it, and how anybody can achieve a $50,000 to $100,000 a month coaching business with 90% profit margins, working 10 to 12 hours a week. And I know, it sounds ridiculous, it sounds insane, but I can guarantee you it's 100% possible. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit of where we're at, why things have changed, and exactly how you can win in 2025 and moving forwards. So first things first, we are not playing by the same set of rules anymore. And the reason for this is we've had 15 years of bait and switch marketing, bad coaching, bullshit offers, and outright scams. And now if you layer in on top of that AI, nobody believes anything is real anymore. Literally, nobody thinks anything is real. And what that's caused is a huge trust deficit in the marketplace. And the problems that I'm seeing are people are blaming their sales teams. Their show up rates are dropping through the floor when they're running things like traditional VSL funnels. And then they are constantly churning through closers and setters because they think it's a sales related issue. And I am here to tell you it is not a sales related issue. It is a marketing related issue based on a trust recession in the marketplace. Traditional funnels, like I said, the VSLs, book a call pages are absolutely collapsing across the board. And if you run one, then you've probably noticed that over the last 12, 18 months, 2 years, show rates have gradually declined and declined and declined. And your sales team are finding it harder and harder in order to close. And if you monitor the objections that they're getting, and you should, you'll probably notice that they are getting a lot of, yeah, okay, sounds good, but I want to check you out. I want to know who I'm parting with money, I'm giving my money to, right? And all of this kind of stuff. Once you layer into that the fact that ad costs are through the roof, because there's never been more people advertising on Facebook, it is harder and harder to make a VSL funnel work. And I know there's going to be some nerd jump in the comments and say, oh, we run a VSL funnel. That's great. And if you've got enough brand awareness in the marketplace to continue to do that, awesome. What I'm telling you is that yours will end up failing too. And the fix, hopefully, is this video. This is what I've been walking my clients through. This is what has enabled them to get exponentially better results because they're able to have conversations with people who are pre-sold rather than just curious. I'll walk you through a little bit more about what that looks like. So trust recession, a little bit about my backstory. If you're watching, you don't know who the fuck I am. My name's Geoff. I've been in the coaching consulting space since 2018. I've had a very lucrative career in that space. And then 7 months ago, I left a $300,000 a year job to build my own coaching business. And I have made absolutely every mistake in the book. I have burnt out trying to do everything, posting, build funnels, run VSLs, manage sales teams. I've created content that didn't convert and everything in between. But I did stumble across something completely different that has fixed all of those issues. And full transparency, this is not my idea. I've kind of pieced together what some of the biggest creators in the world are doing, people like Alex Hormozi, Iman Gadzhi, and all of a sudden it clicked and I realized what they were doing in order to generate the volume of sales that they do. And no, I'm not for a second suggesting that you need to be Alex Hormozi and hire a colossal team for content or anything like that. In fact, it's quite the opposite. But the system is basically built around building trust before the call, because essentially that is what is causing the decline. It is the lack of trust, decline in show rates, decline in close rates. And it's something that I call a hybrid social engine. And it looks like this. You literally run a simple Instagram ad to your profile, not into a funnel, right? So cold people into your profile. And the goal is simply to turn a cold person into a follower, not a lead, right? VSL funnel assumes that you can advertise to a cold audience, get them to watch a 10-minute VSL, and then get them to part with tens of thousands of dollars on a single phone call. And, you know, that used to be the case. You used to be able to do that, no problem. It's getting harder and harder and harder. And if you're a newer coach, then you can rest easy knowing that you absolutely don't need to launch a fucking funnel of any sort. This is what I would do if I was a brand new coach. This is what I would do if I was at 50K a month. It is also what I would do if I was at 100K a month. So if you fit any of those demographics and you are going blind, trying to make a funnel work and manage a team and all the rest of the stuff, this is 100% for you. So the goal is to turn a cold prospect into a follower, not a lead. Step 2 is that you need to nurture that follower with 3 types of specific content. Number 1 is attention content, okay? And this is purely designed to grow the following, to layer on top of the ad that is run into your profile. Second type of content is trust building, which then is designed to take that follower and deepen the connection with them so that you start to build the all elusive know, like, and trust. And then the third piece of content is sales related content, which shows results and client wins and stuff like that. Then the aim of the game is that you drive them to a long form piece of content like a YouTube video or a podcast, but something longer form where you can deepen that trust even further. And the reason for this is Google released a study recently and they called it their 7-11-4 rule, which is that nowadays people need to consume roughly 7 hours of your content on 11 different interactions, 11 different occasions across 4 different platforms. And those platforms could be LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, podcast, email list, free school group, like whatever it is. But 7-11-4 is wild, considering that even 18 months ago, those figures were more like 3, 5, and 1. It was crazy. And the difference in those numbers, bearing in mind Google has billions and billions of data points to utilize to create this information, those numbers were way less. And that shows and proves that trust has declined. People need to consume way more of you before they are ready to make a decision to buy. And the stat that is most shocking is there is probably only about 1% of the market that is ready to buy at any one time. So if you are running leads into a funnel and you get 100 leads, then there's only 1% of those 100. There is only one person in that 100 that is ready to buy now. Everybody else requires some form of nurture. The problem with a funnel is that once they're on their email list, email is incredibly bad at producing nurture. Doesn't mean you can't make money from email. You absolutely can. It's just not good at nurturing and building know, like, and trust. And the reality is that 50% of that market will never buy from you. They will never be interested in purchasing anything. That's just the reality of the situation. The remaining 49% will probably buy from you, but not right now. Maybe it's next week. Maybe it's next month. Maybe it's next year. But in order to get them to the point where you can show up as the person that they are willing to do business with, you have to be top of mind, and they have to be nurtured, and they have to be ready to take action. So then what we do, once they've consumed long form content, we actually send them back to Instagram, and all we do is we ask them to DM us a specific word, like, you know, via a CTA. If you want to explore working together, come back over and DM me the word, you know, whatever, 90, 100, or a billion, or let's go, whatever, doesn't matter. Then you can have a brief chat in the DMs to loosely qualify, and I see people get this wrong. They way overdo it in the DMs. So loosely qualify, and then you can book a call. And the difference is that people are now booking a call not because they're curious. They are booking a call because they're pre-sold. Up until now, what we've done is we've relied on sales teams to explain who we are, what we do, who we help, how we help, what our unique mechanism is, why we're credible, why they should trust us. And the reality is that a sales team struggle to do that with any kind of effectiveness more and more. So if we can take people and we can get them to the point where all of those things, they know who we are, what we do, how we help, who we help, all the rest of it, and they're already knowledgeable on all of that stuff, the conversations that we can have are infinitely different, like wildly different. A client of mine recently went from doing about $40,000 per month to doing $60,000 per week using a hybrid social engine. And the reality is this: what we're really building is something called a parasocial relationship. And this is a phrase I've borrowed from Daniel Priestley. It's a little bit like your favorite TV character in a show, right? You feel like you know them. You feel like you like them and trust them almost. They don't know who the hell you are, but you feel like you know them. That is a parasocial relationship, and that is what we are building with our audiences. And exactly here, when the time comes to buy, they choose you because they trust you, because they have that parasocial relationship. And the hybrid social engine solves that entire trust deficit. It warms leads up before they enter your quote unquote funnel. But really, we're not even using a funnel. So it's super low tech. It allows you to increase your show rates, increase your close rates, decrease your CAC, cost per acquisition, if you didn't know. And it allows you to build long-term brand equity, which is absolutely crucial moving forward. So there's no fancy funnel software. There's no huge ad budget, just smart content and a simple system. And the biggest difference that I'll touch on last is I know creators utilizing this funnel and maintaining 90% profit margins. So think about that. If you're a coach or a consultant and you're doing 50,000 a month or 100,000 a month or 10,000 a month, whatever it may be, and you are trying to run a team and run a VSL funnel, you're making no money. So ask yourself this question: would you rather have a 100K a month business at a 30% profit margin if you're lucky, or would you rather have a 100K a month business at a or would you rather have a 100K a month business at a 90% profit margin and only work 10 to 12 hours a week without having to run any complex funnels or get buried in tech or manage a team? And the reality is that most of us aren't CEOs. We didn't want to be CEOs. We didn't want to be managers. What we started a coaching business for was the ability to give us time, money, and location freedom. So ask yourself if you have those. Like if you were to take 2 weeks off now, you just decided, what would happen to your business? And the reality for most people is that it would go into a rapid decline. And the hybrid social engine gives coaches all of that back. It enables them to build time, money, and location freedom. So if you're curious at all about what this looks like, then go through some of my other content. There'll be more information on a hybrid social funnel or hybrid social engine. And if you do want to explore what it's like to build this and to have my help doing it, then just come over to Instagram. There'll be a link in the description, and DM me the word 90, and we can have a conversation and see if it's a fit to work together.